Right.
And you're saying,
Cool.
"Oh God," and here you are, you're married with three kids, and you're happy in your sexual relationship with your wife, and then you get a show like Birdcage or something like that, you know?
I'm gonna go blind and
Oh,
be attacked by demons.
that just we've all gone crazy in quarantine.
Yeah, it's getting there. Yep.
Just filling
Well,
the
what it
time.
is, it's interesting. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a fact. You could probably translate anything into something. Now, I'll give you an example. Now, when you're looking at what she just suggested as far as what could be your future based on the movie that you're getting, is that I'll give you an example of what I don't do in my readings. I do not tell people when they're going to die or how they're going to die. I don't tell people that. The only time I'll mention it is if somebody's already on their deathbed and they need to take care of business or whatnot. That's a little different when the person's already knocking on heaven's door. That's a little different. But basically, say with you guys, you say, "Hey Artie, when are we going to die or how are we going to die, whatever." I would never say that because by me planting a seed into your brain, because I have the respect from the public that already said that I was going to die at the age of yada yada yada, that subconsciously you plant that seed into your brain and you can create that to become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So if somebody is looking, so it's a subliminal suggestion to whoever. So if you're looking at a movie and suppose you see somebody, a lady who's a churchgoer, and she does that, and then she sees, Rambo, or you see something like, a bunch of cars chasing one another in a high-speed chase with gunfire and stuff like that. It's like, oh, is that what I have to look forward to? You know,
Right. Man, I
so
can
Is it?
only wish
it
things would
doesn't
get that
go.
exciting.
I have to
But what I'm
ask,
saying is,
actually.
you could create this to become a self-fulfilling prophecy as far as a part of your personality. Because if you believe in something strong enough, it makes no
Hmm.
difference what it is. You could believe yourself to win the lottery. You could believe yourself to be married to the most gorgeous girl in the world. You could believe yourself to have five kids or to be whatever or the greatest psychic in the world or whatever. You could believe if you believe in something with your heart and soul, then if it's within your will, then it is within God's will because God will help make whatever it is you want to happen. You do not have to be a nice guy to make your will happen. It's all about your will. And so, therefore, it makes no difference whether you're a nice guy or a good guy. But if it's within your will to make things happen,
Hmm.
then it's going to happen. And according to society, for centuries, we kind of led ourselves in this direction, just like 911. It was the subconscious of the entire universe, of the entire public that led us to exactly where we are right now. It's not God just creating this. God allows everything to happen, and that's what free will is all about. And
Hmm.
that we just need to take responsibility for whatever it is that we create in our life and within this world.
For
Now,
sure.
when you're given when you pick up on, say how somebody's gonna die, are you often like it's not always black and white? I would assume, right? Like, is there
I'm dead
pathways
on.
like?
I'm dead on. No, no pun intended. I'm only kidding.
I was thinking, like, you know what I mean? Like, say somebody, really wants to, say somebody's, obese and they want to lose some weight, and they come and they say, um, if I start working out, like, can I change, what you're being told, or is there two different paths? If I continue the way I'm gonna go down, this is how I'm going to end up, or I have a chance to change that and make a choice. Like, do you see the different outcomes um, of those choices that people can make?
Well, it's interesting that you should say that because there's a specific story that comes to my mind where I was doing a reading at this one house, and he hired me back to back years. And I don't remember who I read for, and I let alone remember what I say to people. I have no memory of that. The only time I remember stuff is when people come back to me and I'm in a conscious state of mind, and people will tell me what I said, what I predicted, and then I'll remember that because I'm in a conscious state of mind, or if the story is cool enough. So I'm at this one house, and this one girl, she had a very nice build, average build, but she said to me, she says, "Hey Artie," she says, "you remember me?" I said, "Well, nothing personal, but no, I don't." She goes, "Probably not, because last year you did a reading for me here at this house at this party, and because I do a lot of Artie parties, people hire me to go to their homes. So anyway, so you read for me last year, and you told me that I was going to drop within a year. You told me that I was probably going to drop about 60 pounds." And she goes, "Well, I ended up dropping," and you told me that my boyfriend would not be able to handle the new me. And she goes, "Well, I lost 80 pounds, and my boyfriend is out of my life."
Wow.
There you go.
So when I see something, just because if I say, "Well, I see you guys being a millionaire," it's not like, "Hey, honey, I'm quitting my job. I don't have to work here because Artie said I was going to be a millionaire by next year." You still have to do your life. So it's the energy according to how you're living your life right now, based on a course of events, how you're living your life right now. You don't change anything. And so putting two and two together, this is what's going to happen. But if things could change. I'll give you a really good story example. So I also give people words of warning because there's what's known as psychic probabilities. So if you go left, this is what's going to happen. If you go right, this is what's going to happen. If you go up, this is what's going to happen. If you go down, this is what's going to happen. Well, Artie, what do you see me doing? I just told you what to expect based on your personal choice, your free will.
Mm-hmm.
So a lady walks into my house, and she said to me, she said, "Artie," she said, "for the last 2 years, I was thinking about you every single day." So, I was flattered, not attracted to her. I said, but I was flattered. and I just said, "Oh, okay." And she goes, I go, "So why were you thinking about me for the last 2 years every day?" She goes, "You did a reading for me here at your table, and you held my hand. And as soon as you held my hand, the moment you held my hand, you started singing the song, 'Highway to Hell, I'm going to highway to,' by AC/DC."
Yeah.
And so I hear songs in my head, and I get messages that way too. And so you looked at me and you said, "You're doing something right now you should not be doing. And if you keep on doing what you're doing, you better stop it real soon, because if you keep on doing what you're doing, you're going to get caught and you're going to get thrown in jail." I said, "I'm just warning you right now. You want to stop whatever it is you're doing. It's not kosher. It's not good." She goes, "Well, 1 week later, I got caught at doing something I should not be doing, and I ended up going to jail for 2 years. And I woke up every single day thinking, why didn't I listen to Artie? Why didn't I listen to Artie?" Now, she had the blessing of knowing something in advance that could have changed her life, but instead, they tested the waters.
Mm-hmm.
So another cool story. This didn't happen with me, but it happened with one of my very dear friends who's also very psychic. She's very good. And she worked on a high-level government position from the state of New Jersey. And she's very psychic. And she was actually offered her own TV show, and she turned it down because her boss said, "You can't do that and this, and, it's not going to work. You have to make a choice." So she liked the security of her job, so she gave that up. But she still had her psychic abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And she told her boss to tell his best friend, who also worked for the government, "You need to tell him he needs to stay home from work for the next 2 weeks, because I see a dark black line across the center of his body, and I see death. And he needs to stay home from work for 2 weeks." And the guy didn't listen, and he got in a major car accident, and his body was literally cut in half right through the stomach, across the stomach line.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
So when you see things, now I just did a reading for a woman yesterday, and I said to her, I said, "Listen to me." I said, "When you're driving, whenever you're at a traffic light, you need to look every which way. Even if you have the right of way and it's a green light, still I want you to look both ways. Or if you have the right of way and you're about to make a quick turn, but the other person's supposed to slow down. I said, you need to play defense, real defense with your driving until the end of the summertime. Otherwise, there's going to be a major accident. I said, I'm just giving you a warning right now because the spiritual world right now is showing me traffic lights and I'm at a very busy intersection. If they're showing me traffic lights at a busy intersection, you could put two and two together and say the reason why they're showing me this is because there's a car accident that's going to be happening if you don't. Mm-hmm. So I said to her, if nothing happens at the end of the summer and things are normal, that means you listen to me. I said, you do not want to challenge the universe or what I'm saying to you until the end of the summer. You always want to play defense while you're driving. Now, yes, that's general rule of thumb, I guess, for everybody could do that. But for her in particularly, the spiritual world put an image in my head of a traffic light, of a major busy intersection. So I said, really check both ways because someone is not paying attention and they're going through a red light, or someone is challenging a yellow light and going through it. Even though you have the right of way, you still have to play defense. Otherwise, you're going to get clobbered on somebody else's mistake. So does this have to happen to her? No, it does not, because I gave her warning. But if she's challenging or forgets or whatever, then, I don't wish bad upon anybody. But I said, just that information alone is worth the whole reading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Wow.
There are times where I do readings for people, and like the next day they'll get in a car accident or something effed up will happen to them, and they'll say, Artie, why didn't you tell me? You just did a reading for me, and like the next day or 2 days later, I said, well, then you were meant to go through it. I didn't see it. You were meant to go through it. I can't protect you from everything. There's certain things within your karma that you're drawing to your life about this, that, or the other thing. But if I do see it, that means it's a blessing that, you're going to receive something or I'm saving you from something. And I don't know jack crap until the spiritual world gives me the information. I give people medical information, whether they're people or animals. And I'm no doctor, and I didn't go to Harvard or Yale or any of those colleges or anything like that, And, I told that, in my book, I have a book called Angels and Answers. And in my book, there's a story. And I tell people, I said, I went to the University of Maryland and Boston for 2 years, but that was just to visit my friends.
Now, I think I read somewhere that you've only had this gift since you were 27.
Yeah.
Did something change in your life at that point, or was it just one minute you woke up and life was different?
Yeah, I woke up around the holiday season, and it was my birthday, and I said, Ma, I asked my mother, I said, what's in the box? She goes, oh, that's your gift. Ever since then, I've had the gift.
But
no. So
well played.
Now, I got, believe it or not, there was a postcard in the mail, in my junk mail. I had a conversation with God, with no exaggeration. I was very frustrated in my life. And I had everything going for me. I was married, had a child, everything was going great. Business was good, material, family, health, everything. But yet I was still unsatisfied inside in myself with life. And so I said to God, God, I need answers. I need clear answers. And so I walk upstairs because I was in my home office in my basement. I have a finished basement. So I walk upstairs into my kitchen, and there's a bunch of junk mail. Usually I just throw it right in the garbage, but for some reason I was sifting through the junk mail, and I saw a postcard, and it said, how would you like to develop your psychic ability and intuitiveness? Come to the Edgar Casey Foundation for this one-weekend seminar in Virginia Beach. So I said, oh, that looks interesting. I didn't know you could learn how to do this. I thought you either had it or you didn't. Mm-hmm. So I asked my wife, who was my wife at the time, I said, you want to try this? I said, this looks interesting. She goes, I don't give a crap about that. You can go if you want. I don't want to go. So I ended up going, and there was 50 of us in one large room from all different parts of the country. And they got us into that spiritual mode. And, they had us all relax. We were getting all in that meditation zone and the beautiful music and his soft voice. And then they broke us up into groups, and they said, whoever you're with, just share the information with them. Don't judge yourself. Don't worry about being right or wrong. Just tell them whatever you